employee of the post office. You see how great it is? It's Sunday, and I have the day off to do nothing but read. Over the next year, I'm thinking of plowing through all of Tolstoy.
Why couldn't you have been born a fabulous Aries like me? Instead, you're a goddamn Pisces. Imaginative and creative, but sensitive and easily led astray. We Aries can be exhausting, but oh, how brightly we shine. In the game of life, we play to win.
Yeah, well, get used to losing because the answer is still no.
If you're no longer a writer, why the hell have you got this Smith Corona so prominently displayed, huh? You might as well have a pin spot on it.
I write letters.
You don't write me any letters.
I write to Vera.
I thought you two broke up.
She broke up with me. I haven't accepted it yet.
I never trusted that dame. Never liked her.
Yeah, well, she hates you too. Your Vera says you'll never release me from your grasping tentacles.
Oh, really? And what other lovely things has she to say about me?
She says if you expect to find work as a writer again, you're deluding yourself.
Wow. You can tell Vera that if she expects to find work as an actress, she'd better do something about those teeth.
What's wrong with her teeth?
Has love blinded you to that overbite? I see no work in her future, unless they're casting a hillbilly comedy. Oh, her jealousy knows no bounds.
Jealous of what? Your dental alignment?
Jealous of what we share. We have a magic and a chemistry that goes beyond mother and son. She couldn't keep up. She felt excluded. Now I blame her for this whole thing.
What whole thing?
For breaking your heart. And forcing you into this Midwestern exile in Omaha. And a dead-end job as a mailman.
Mother, you have to accept that I love my job. I love this place. I love my life.
Well, forgive me if I remain a skeptic. You know, if for no other reason this postal charade is hard on your feet, you always had rotten feet.
You're the one with the bad feet.
What?
Your aristocratic Russian feet that no shoes ever fit. Yeah, I have my father's big, wide, Midwestern feet.
Your father has the feet of a murderer.
I'm impressed. You haven't seen his feet in over 30 years. Perhaps you're confusing my father's feet with those of one of your other 5 husbands.
3 husbands, my boy. You keep forgetting I married Miles twice. I was never legally wed to Irwin, and my marriage to Jorge was a no.
Forgive me, I forgot to bring along my abacus.
Oh, boy. Oh, nobody kicks me in the ass like you do. Ugh, I love it. The banter, the back and forth. Bam, bam, bam. Oh, I miss it. Oh, I haven't had one good solid laugh since you left.
Sorry, but I'm staying put. Yeah, I want to get to know my father, and I want to spend some time with him before he's too old.
Well, that's very dear of you. Of course, you know, kid, I'm not enjoying the best of health.
What's wrong with your health?
What's wrong with my health? Darling, I was in a major car accident less than 3 years ago. One never fully recovers from that sort of trauma.
No, I don't see any residual effects.
You refuse to. You like to think of your mother as a mortal. Well, she's not. I have many physical problems. I suffer from arthritis. My bones have never fully knit.
Have you been to a doctor?
Ugh, I've had my fill of the medical profession. Now, I've happily returned to my roots as a devout Christian Scientist.
You're not a devout Christian Scientist.
Kid, don't tell me what I believe in. Madeline Andrews and I go once a month to the Christian Science reading room.
You know, I still don't understand how you can be lifelong friends with that pickled in vodka ham actress Madeline Andrews.
I would love to write something for her. The poor thing is starving for a meaty role.
Because she's a terrible actress.
Well, explain that to her legion of fans. But I can see Madeline as a very stylish queen of the mob. Huh? The ruthless head of a crime syndicate. Get out, Mighty. Hey, I bet a raw, Freudian-tinged gangster picture would cinch us the deal.
I don't write as butch as you.
Oh, we'll make it a woman's picture, but with violins instead of violins. Violins. We'll give her a troubled son. She adores him, and she worries how we'll get along after she's gone.
Digging deep, Mama.
It'll be a picture that speaks to every mother with a difficult child.
The poor old Ma is always the last to know.
I tell you, Mrs. B, there should have been violins playing. Steve says to me, you think I'm fibbing, huh? You think I'm selling you a bill of goods on this marriage proposal business?
Who could resist such a romantic swain?
Ma, I tell her to take a gander in the parlor, and she sachets in there with a smirk on that beautiful puss of hers. And what does she see? A justice of the peace.
5 minutes later, I'm Mrs. Steve Bartlett.
Can't say I'm pleased you denied me the joy of planning your wedding.
Oh, what a flash that would have been, huh?
It would have been the height of elegance. I would have had my couturier, Monsieur Andre, design Verna's trousseau. The talented frog owes me plenty.
Oh, yeah? Should we take the boat to France and shake the pansy till his petals fall?
Darling, please. This penthouse is no place for firearms.
Whatever you say, Ma. Whatever you say. Your Ma's pistol packing days are over. Yeah, she's got others to do the dirty work. But once upon a time, my mother handled a machine gun better than Dillinger.
Well, the invention of the Tommy gun was a real blessing. Finally, a machine gun you could carry. Before that, I was one big bruise. When Steve was a kid, he was convinced the Tommy gun was named after some other little boy named Tommy. Oh, he'd pitch a fit. Well, finally, just to quiet the kid down, I had the fellas call their guns their Stevie. The word got around, and soon the other mobsters thought we'd invented a new weapon. That's what it was like back then. We had fun. Today, it's all dollars and cents.
Sweet story.
Verna, it's still not too late for me to take you shopping.
Oh, well, that's very kind of you to offer, Mrs. B. And while I admire your legendary chic, I tend to feature more of a younger look.
Is that what you call it? Lord knows I've never seen so many diamonds worn before noon. Oh, and Verna, in this town, summer furs are placed in storage no later than Labor Day.
Oh, I'll remember that.
So, maybe you should hold off on buying too many clothes. Yeah, I'm gonna be wanting a son pretty soon. Hey, Ma! Ma, doesn't Verna look like she could give you plenty of healthy grandkids?
Son, let's not place the ox before the tart. Oh, I'm sorry, slip of the tongue. I meant to say cart. Darling, there's so much I want for you.
Yeah, but I have so much, aren't I got Verna! Ain't she a beauty?
Yes, she's quite a hooker. Oh, I'm sorry, looker.
Another slip of the tongue, huh, Ma?
You know, Stevie, it's getting pretty late. The train leaves Union Station in less than an hour.
Yeah, our Palm Springs honeymoon awaits.
You
He's not afraid of anything.
Yeah, I just don't like being penned in.
It's a common medical condition called claustrophobia.
Oh, Ma, not now.
She ought to know what she's getting into.
Yeah, I'd like to be wise to the score. Tell me, how long have you had this, claustrophobia? Yeah.
All my life. Yeah, I don't even ride in a car unless the top's down. You get me in a stalled elevator and I'm ready for the bug house. Yeah, that's why this great lady here took the rap for me last year. Yeah, I couldn't have faced 6 months in the slammer. How could I ever repay her?
Son, I needed the rest. And I was out in time for the fall fashion collection.
Well, I guess I just have to accept my tough guy is a mama's boy. But there's one place where he's always going to be mine, unless you got other ideas, Mother Bob.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry, Verna.
It was an accident, honey. Wasn't it, Ma?
Of course it was. Besides, Verna, you ought to know from experience. Blood is the only stain that's hard to remove.
Steve, are you coming with me, or am I flying to the desert solo?
No, I'm coming with you. I'll phone you, Ma. From the Springs!
Now watch it, honey. Let's not make the mob queen a horrible bitch. We're writing this for Madeline. She's not some sweaty, legs over her head B-movie actress.
Mother, I am not working on this movie with you. And hey, I write great roles for women.
I beg to differ. Lately, you're always making your lead female character a selfish, unsympathetic harridan.
Not true. How can you say that?
Well, you did it with the magazine editor in your last picture. You even did it with the manicurist in that dreadful comedy you worked on at Fox.
Dreadful. You told me you screamed with laughter.
I was being a devoted mother. Down to fit the scotch.
Well, you don't need me. You've never written with a partner.
I need you now. Well, I've hesitated bringing this up, darling, but perhaps I should prepare you. I could be under investigation from the House Un-American Activities Committee.
Have you received a summons to appear in Washington?
Not yet, but I have enemies who would gladly finger me.
Is there anything in your past, besides punching Ginger Rogers, that could get you in trouble?
Well, when I was married to Miles, he made me sign all sorts of petitions to defeat Franco in Spain. I may have joined the goddamn Communist Party and not even known it. I tell you, any moment, someone out there is gonna finger me.
Mother, will you please stop using that phrase?
I could very well be blacklisted. If we collaborate, I may need you to take a solo credit. I can't imagine my life without work. I've been making up stories my entire life.
You certainly have.
I recall you being quite enraptured with my narrative abilities when you were a child.
I loved your stories. You always had an endless collection of those Russian fairy tales.
Oh, the stories my grandmother Olga told me.
I always liked the one about the firebird and the woe-begone princess.
Yes, what was her name? Vasilisa.
Yeah, Vasilisa.
Baba Yaga? Baba Yaga?
Princess Vasilisa, you are here at long last.
You know my name?
I was expecting you. The lair of the Baba Yaga is everyone's greatest fear and last hope. There are many questions you long to ask me. Is it true I feed off the blood of stray cats Am I guilty of strangling my daughter with her own braid? Did I indeed poison my late husband's kugel? I answer nothing! Now tell me, child, what brings you to the forest?
It's so difficult, impossible, if only...
Child, take a sip of this fine kvass. It will loosen your tongue. It was a gift from Schmiegel the wine merchant for turning his strange son-in-law into a woodpecker.
I'm afraid I'm not a Oh, I hitherto have an unknown ease of verbal acuity. Baba Yaga, I am so utterly and miserably in love with Prince Mishka. He is everything one could wish for in a husband. But why would he want me? I would only prove to be a burden and embarrassment to any man. Please, Baba Yaga, please make him love me. There must be something I can give you. Gold? I have gold. Or
What have you there?
this? A feather that fell from the sky.
A feather bright as flame. It fell from the breast of the enchanted firebird. She sheds her feathers on a blessed few.
Then, will you make it possible for the prince to fall in love with me?
We shall make of you a twin. She shall be everything you are. Only more.
Oh.
This twin shall captivate the prince in your stead. Then, after he proposes marriage to this double, all you need do is wish it, and she will quickly and painlessly die.
Oh. Well, how do we go forth to create such a twin?
Shortly, I shall take a hatchet and cleave you in two. You will, of course, feel nothing. No one hopes. The rest I shall explain to you later. Now come, child, we have much work to do.
And at the end, Princess Vasilisa climbs on the back of an enchanted firebird and flies off gloriously, alone, independent, into the sunset.
Your favorite story, huh? Dr. Freud would say you wanted to escape from me. I always thought it was the two of us against the world, huh? All the men in my life, all my husbands, they were mere sideshows, and they damn well knew it. That knowledge at times earned me a bloody lip, and a blackened eye, and a punch in the stomach.
I seem to recall you giving as good as you got.
Oh, my pet, a woman of achievement, be it in business, the arts, politics, or science, is truly the most vulnerable of God's creatures. Oh, science! How about a science fiction yarn? Since Uncle Sam put Nagasaki in the pressure cooker, they are all the rage.
I don't know anything about science.
What's to know? We'll toss in a few 50-cent words like, Homo sapien and protozoa. Zoa?
Z-O-A.
Z-O-A. Ooh, we'll make it about a glamorous lady scientist who's on the cusp of a breakthrough that could either benefit or destroy mankind. A perfect role for Linda Belmont. She's under contract in Republic. Linda looks like she can possibly spell molecule.
Dr. Rittenspitz,
Yes, dear Constance, what is it you could not discuss on the telephone?
the Rappaport Foundation has decided not to renew my research grant.
Oh no, my dear.
In their infinite wisdom, they have chosen to lend their financial support to Dr. Mindhart Biederman. I have nothing but contempt for these petty administrators with their paltry little dreams.
Your field of study frightens them. Creating a duplicate human being questions the very essence of mankind.
I cannot concern myself with trifles. I offer up this question. Is mankind worthy of our intelligence? Why, you possess the most fertile mind since Galileo, and yet you have been metaphorically castrated by the scientific community.
How ironic, since for years I have been accused of having penis envy. My dear Constance, I have at times lamented never marrying, never having a child. Will you one day regret your personal sacrifice to science?
Well, I have had my share of romantic falderal. Leaves one physically exhausted, mentally befogged, and unprepared to conduct accurate scientific research.
But, my child, have you never been in love?
Dr. R, are you by chance hoping to uncover the secret wound to my frosty exterior?
Oh, was there someone in your past that hurt you?
Let me ponder that. Have I ever felt abandoned? Was there an episode in my life where I fell head over heels in love, desperately and completely, so much so that I would have gladly given my life for his happiness and then been tossed aside, left disconsolate, and stripped of all hope? No, I can't say that I have. Dr. Spitz, I have no fear ending up a spinster academic with a test tube full of sperm. In fact, I welcome it.
If you will excuse me, dear Constance, I am on tenterhooks. To complete my little ensign protocol.
The good work must continue.
Dr. Hudson!
Oh, Zygote.
Did I frighten you? I hope so.
No, merely startled.
Nothing can keep me from you.
I like to think you can always regard this laboratory as home.
I should. It is, after all, the place of my birth, but then we can't really call it a birth now, can we?
For me, it was a most profound moment.
Really? I'd always considered myself one of your most egregious failures.
Not at all. I'm very proud of you, Zygote. Why, you were an invaluable stepping stone to my ultimate clinical conclusions. For that, I shall always be grateful.
That's funny. Grateful to a botched experiment.
Botched? Why, you're a great success. You live, you breathe, you walk, you talk. If you feel unattractive, reserve your anger for your tailor. I can't say I'm mad for that vest. Whew.
I'm a tough fit. Perhaps it's that pesky seventh nipple. In the last 2 years since you granted me my independence, I've had to have 43 wisdom teeth extracted and 6 appendectomies. And then, of course, there's my very original intestinal tract.
Well, I, for one, thought we were awfully clever and created an alternate opening for waste elimination.
Oh, yes, very clever. Thanks to that ingenious new opening, I now have to wear this toupee! What have you done to me, you mad woman?
I don't have to take this from a...
From a what? From a lab experiment? Oh, the brilliant Dr. Hudson did her brilliant best creating life in a test tube. Then she tried out her new method to age the zygote to full adulthood in a matter of hours. Gosh darn, it's working. No, wait, there's something wrong. Something hideously wrong. Destroy it. Put it out of its misery.
It wasn't like that.
My earliest memories are of frightened voices shouting, kill it! Kill it!
Yes, kill it, they said. That much is true, but I refuse to let you die.
Why? What did I mean to you?
You meant my life's work. Hours of intense study and labor, so much had built to that moment.
I only meant something to you. Professionally, I grew up virtually alone with you in this lab. Don't you recognize yourself? The way I talk, the words I use. You know, I do a rather cruel and accurate impersonation of you. It's quite a hit among scientific circles. Does that make you angry?
I have more important things with which to concern myself.
You know, it's possible you're more of a zombie than I am.
You have succeeded in insulting me. Have you come for more than merely settling old scores?
You know what I came for. Give it to me!
I will not encourage you in your addictions.
My addictions? My one addiction is to your patented chemical SP596!
Abuse of this compound could lead to serious destruction of the nervous system.
Give it to me! It's the same chemical that made me age 30 years in 3 hours, and now I need it to live!
You do not need it to live. That is a falsehood.
I do need it! Every atom in my body craves it!
Zygote, you placed me in a dreadful quandary.
Please, Dr. Hudson, I'm begging you. You owe me this much.
Oh, all right, just this once.
Thank you! May I inquire, are you any closer to completing your perfect human double?
Yes, quite close.
Oh, you must be working around the clock. No time for friends?
I'm afraid not. I'd hoped that you would make friends.
I find the general public as repulsive as they find me.
Yes, I too prefer my own company.
We're cut from the same cloth, eh?
You look thin. Have you been eating?
I take my meals at the boarding house. I don't seem to be gaining any weight. I suspect the fat German cook sucks the nutrients out of the meat before she serves it.
You really do an impersonation of me?
Oscar-worthy.
Hold still.
Oh! the chemical. It's instant. I keep forgetting that. Oh, wow. You are the mad genius of all time. Oh, you really got to market that stuff. It's a killer. Oh.
I have no interest in being in the business of trafficking illegal substances, and neither do you.
And what's that supposed to mean?
Oh, it's no secret that selling morphine is your stock in trade.
And so what if it is? We all have to earn a living, and we all need our crutch.
What am I to do with you, Zygote?
You'd like to see me destroyed, wouldn't you? Thrown out in the garbage with the rest of the medical refuse. Well, I'm not going anywhere, Dr. Hudson. You and I are linked together forever, or until I bring you down. And I will bring you down. I'll bring this entire building down.
Same price?
For you, Mrs. Bartlett, the price never changes.
You ought to be doing pretty good in this racket. Maybe it's time you spent some money on your appearance.
There's not enough money in the world that can help me.
Kid, pardon me for asking, but what in heaven's name happened to you?
A simple explanation. I'm a failed medical experiment. Though I've been told I should derive satisfaction from the fact that my handicap will someday ultimately serve mankind.
I'm not following you.
I was created in a lab. A bold step into the future. My creator, the estimable Dr. Constance Hudson, is on the threshold of conceiving a perfect double for any living creature.
A double?
A perfect replication, molecule by molecule, of one organism for another.
She knows how to make a twin.
She's working on it. But like all of us, she needs cash.
I got cash.
As well as a cancer in your body that's killing you.
How do you figure that?
I was created with keen powers of deduction. The morphine helps the pain.
I need to stick around a while longer. I have a kid that needs me.
Well, that Steve Bartlett seems like a pretty tough customer. I hear he makes grown men cry.
We've got an angry senator on our backs. Crenshaw's committed to wiping scum like us off the face of the earth. I'm not worth much, but my boy is. This Crenshaw business requires a finesse that doesn't come easy to Steve. It's about negotiation and giving them a piece of the action. How do you think I've lasted so long in this line of work? So this doctor can really make you a twin.
If anybody could. Penny for your thoughts, Mrs. Bartlett.
Oh, I was just remembering a fairy tale I heard as a girl. I grew up in an orphan asylum that makes San Quentin seem like the Ritz. But there was one matron that had a soft spot for me. Awfully quaint, I should think of that now.
Tell me more. I grew up in a laboratory. I've never heard such a story.
Believe it or not, I was a painfully meek young thing. This matron told me the story of a very shy princess who was madly in love with a handsome prince. Well, there was no way this fellow would wink at her, let alone slip a ring on her finger. So she visits a kindly old woman in the forest who makes her an identical twin with the gift for gab and gives the princess the future she considered hopeless. I need some strong magic now, kid. Can you arrange for me to meet this Dr. Hudson?
I believe that's within my power.
Oh, you have my eternal appreciation. What's the matter? Did I hurt you? You don't have fins back there, do you?
I wouldn't touch me if I didn't have to.
Everyone deserves to be touched. You and I are in the same boat, aren't we? Time is running out for you, too.
Excellent deduction, Mrs. B. I was created only to last a decade. I've never expected more.
Oh, honey, I expected so much more.
Your offer is extraordinary, but you understand there can be no strings attached.
Dr. Hudson, my only goal is for you to succeed. Losing your funding was a rotten break.
The scientific bureaucracy has effectively neutralized my attempt to create life from life.
Well, your dark days are over. Whatever you need, I'll foot the bill. This double, the identical twin, it shows up full size, right? The same age as the original?
That is what I am attempting to do, yes.
But can you stuff the brain with all the memories of the original person?
I am of the belief that memory is connected to cellular structure.
What about sense of humor? Would the double have to be a grin-faced Gussie?
Which can be viewed as a byproduct of cerebral configuration.
What about love? Can you transfer feelings from one person to another?
Mrs. Bartlett, are you by chance hoping that I would create a double of you?
That's the ticket.
You are intrigued by the fantasy of being in two places at once?
Yes. Because one of us will be lying in a grave. I'm dying, Dr. Hudson. I need this double to carry on my work and to protect my son.
Your work is not unfamiliar to me. I've read about the Bartlett Syndicate in connection with Senator Crenshaw's investigation on organized crime.
Don't believe everything you read in the papers. Sure, I walk on the shady side of the street from time to time, but no more than any of those folks you vote for on election day. One more question. If this double is exactly like me, wouldn't it also have the same tumor?
I shouldn't think so, but there would be that risk. However, you seem like a woman who thrives on risk.
When do we get started?
My work has never ended. Despite my financial woes, I've maintained a skeleton staff.
No, I meant, when do you make my twin?
I'm still doing clinical trials on rodents. I will not be rushed. My credo has always been collect, collate, evaluate.
Evaluate this, Dr. Hudson. I'm a dame on borrowed time.
Well, Mrs. Bartlett, I will certainly pursue that way of thinking. I need that too.
Lady, you beat the band.
I beg your pardon.
Oh, you're in no position to turn up your fine schnozola at my offer. I've done my research as well. You owe months of back rent on this shabby piece of real estate. In fact, at the end of this month, you're going to be tossed out on your biological keister. I'll have my lawyers draw up the papers, and you'll find me at Bullock shopping for a fashionable new wardrobe for my twin. Good day, Dr. Hudson.
So the lady scientist and the mob queen make some kind of pact. What's next?
I hate this story. At first it was a gangster film, then it was a science fiction picture. Now we're scrambling the two together.
As I get older, I find I have 2 false starts for every script. It's the third story that finally takes off.
If I was going to write a movie,
No.
it would be a love story. A tragic love story to suit my current romantic situation.
Sure. If you're referring to Vera, that buck-toothed broad was no Juliet.
She was a great girl. You did everything short of murder to break us up. I know about the letter that you wrote her. Yeah, I know about your Just Us Girls lunch at the Formosa.
It was agonizing watching her dominate you.
You see no irony in that statement? None of my girlfriends have passed the test. None of my friends were good enough. Every kid I brought around was either a nitwit or a Hollywood peasantry.
Why should my opinion mean so much? You could have rebelled. I have great respect for rebels.
Living in Omaha is my act of rebellion.
True. Perhaps I was wrong, keeping us so isolated. I did have the girls around to liven things up.
Yeah, your pals from the silent picture days. Not much fun for a 10-year-old.
You want to write a love story? Fine. Let's write a love story. I'm great at love scenes.
Mother, you write great prison riots. You write great elephant stampedes.
Thank you.
Love scenes? No. That makes sense. And despite the multitude of men in your life, you've never loved any of them. You love your work.
I love you.
I want to write something where the lovers never speak of love. I want to explore hidden desires that the characters are afraid to reveal.
Well, let's not make their desires too hidden. At some point, the leading man better metaphorically hold his pecker, you know?
Mrs. Bartlett must be commended on her exquisite taste in decor. I've never seen an office with such flair.
Yeah, Ma's a sucker for anything Louis cans. Hey, what do you think of this cologne she brought me over from Gay Paris? Does it do anything for me?
The salt in your epidermis is overactivating the isopropyl butanol in the toilet water.
Gee, I better haul myself over to a Turkish bath and sweat this thing off. Nothing I like better than sitting in the raw with my buddies, having a good steam. You should try it sometime.
I'll take that under advisement. I came here to see your mother.
And regretfully, Ma's not available. Anything I can do?
I received a very nasty letter this morning from my landlord, Mr. McMullen. He's threatening to put a padlock on the laboratory doors for non-payment of rent.
Yeah, you shouldn't have got that letter. It's old news. Your mother's motto has always been eliminate the middleman, so she decided to purchase the whole building from McMullen. Yeah, we are now the proud new owners of the newly christened Bartlett Center for Scientific Research.
How extraordinary.
Well, Dr. Hudson, you look like you could use a little renovating as well. It doesn't take an expert to see that the basic structure is sound.
I'm afraid your mother didn't teach you manners. If you'll excuse me, I have plasma that needs thawing.
I still don't see why you and Ma want to go around making doubles of people, but hey, I guess I'm not an advanced thinker like the two of yous.
Your mother possesses a vision of tomorrow that very few share.
You've been in business with us earlier, you wouldn't have lost that research grant.
Mr. Bartlett, I fail to see what influence you could have had with the Rappaport Foundation.
That professor that got the prize instead of you, Dr. Meinhardt Biederman, well, let's just say things haven't quite worked out for him lately.
He received one of the largest financial grants the scientific community has to offer.
It's been rescinded. Dr. Biederman was arrested last week for inappropriate relations with an underage girl. And the judge didn't take too kindly to the key evidence, a portfolio of highly incriminating photo.
I don't believe it.
Thought you'd be pleased.
I take no pleasure in Dr. Biederman's disgrace. I'm deeply distressed, that poor young girl.
Don't worry. There was no young girl.
I don't understand.
Dr. Biederman was indeed photographed by a hidden shutterbug in the privacy of his own home, but with his own hatchet-faced middle-aged spouse. Yeah, truly ain't a trick photography. Her photo was replaced with that of a very youthful adult circus midget.
You did this. You ruined an innocent man.
He stole your big chance.
Did your mother know about this?
Know about it? She bought the dress for the midget. No, she went to a lot of trouble. You might want to thank
This
her.
is appalling. I must end this association at once.
Calm down, sister. You're sitting in clover. Your ma's crazy about you and your work. You know, she has deep pockets.
I can only imagine where that money comes from. Your mother lied to me. She said the accusations by the Senate committee were unsubstantiated.
No one calls my mother a liar. No one.
I have no doubt that lying is the least of her crimes.
Who do you think you're fooling? You got into this outfit with your eyes open, and you'll go out with your eyes open, only there'll be pennies on them. If you have important work to do in your laboratory, yeah, I suggest you do it. Now get out of here.
Mrs. Bartlett, I shall forever condemn myself for ever believing that a woman of your reputation could ever enter into an honest partnership. How's that for clarity?
One might question the sentence structure, but the message is quite clear.
Dr. Rutenspitz, you understand I have no choice. The woman is devoid of scruples.
Oh, no, you cannot be associated with an underworld figure. But one might fear some form of retaliation.
Oh, take this down. I have been notified by the Rappaport Foundation that the grant given to Dr. Biederman has now, due to his unfortunate scandal, been offered to me.
I, of course, will accept their generous financial assistance while doing everything in my power to restore my colleague's good name. You notice she's still pocketing the dough.
I haven't known a dame yet who's near a full purse.
Keep reading.
I have already moved my equipment and files out of the building that you undoubtedly stole from Mr. McMullen and into a new laboratory provided by the Rappaport Foundation.
I'll provide her with something she won't forget.
Thus, Mrs. Bartlett concludes an ugly chapter in scientific research.
I'll give her a conclusion.
Regretfully yours, Dr. Constance Hudson.
She'll regret it, all right.
Well, we got bigger fish to fry. By next Friday, we'll have control of half the ports in this country. We got our judges exactly where we want them. Senator Crenshaw and his cronies can't lay a finger on us.
And to think of all I've done for this country. How many times have they asked me to rub out a foreign agent? And I did it free of charge. Didn't even bill them for expenses. In '39, I offered to assassinate Hitler. I had a window of opportunity and could have saved countless lives, but the Feds suddenly felt my hands weren't clean enough. They can call me a sociopath and a parasite, but nobody can say I'm not a good American.
Well, Ma, I wouldn't let that committee ruffle your ruffles. And by the time I'm through with them, the gentleman's title will be the late Senator Crenshaw.
Don't say that, Steve. Don't even kid about it.
Leave it to me, Ma.
No, son, believe me. I'd also like to see him checked into the funeral parlor. And there are plenty of others I'd like to see lying on a slab. But only in my heart. My head tells me different. And in our line of work, we can't be led by our hearts.
All right, Ma. For you, I will grant both him and that lady scientist a reprieve.
You know, frankly, Mother Bartlett, the whole double notion just gave me the willies. I thought you were throwing away good money. There's only one of me, and that's the way my fella likes it.
Ma! What'd you do that for?
Forgive me, Verna.
Oh, you're gonna let her get away with this?
Ma's upset. She's taking this hard.
Oh, she's taking this hard. I've taken plenty. From day one, Mrs. Bartlett, you never liked me.
No. I don't like you, Verna. I don't like anything about you.
Ma! Don't say that. You're talking to my wife.
That's our misfortune. I don't trust you, Verna. I know what dogs you've lain with, and you're still wagging your tail for them.
Oh, you've got nothing on me. You'd put a hex on any dame who came between you and your precious little boy.
Shut your trap, Verna!
Can't you see, Steve? She wants you for herself. An angel in heaven wouldn't be good enough. She'd dig and find some long-forgotten secret to spoil it for you.
Enough, Verna!
She doesn't want you to be with another woman. She's greedy.
I said enough!
She'll suck all the riches out of this entire city, this entire country, and it'll never be good enough. And you, Steve, no matter how much love you give her, she's always gonna want more.
Ma! You have no right to do that to her!
I have every right.
Oh, you're gonna have to choose, Steve.
Do you hear me asking that?
Stop it! Stop it, the both of you!
Let her go, son. You can find better.
But maybe I'm not so greedy. This one's enough for me.
Then you're asking for nothing.
Verna's right. Any girl of mine is your sworn enemy. Goodbye, Ma.
Don't let him get to you, Mrs. B. You're worth more than any of them.
Damn her. Damn her!
He'll be back. That tramp will be old news by the time the morning edition comes out.
Oh, I could care less about Verna. It's the noble Dr. Hudson that should be damned to hell. So full of moral indignation. So full of integrity. Oh, she's just bursting with it.
All right. Enough play acting. I found it.
The severed head in the refrigerator?
You're gonna kill her?
You've seen too many motion pictures.
What exactly did you find, Mother?
If we can't have the good doctor, we shall have her formula.
While you were out on your postal rounds, I was snooping around your room.
Might I be of help?
I do my own legwork, but there are times when it's necessary to pull off an inside job.
I stumbled upon your manuscript. Your new play?
It's not a new play. It's something I worked on a long time ago and has since been consigned to the bottom of my sock drawer.
It is a new play, and a good one. I think it's brilliant.
Really?
Goes far beyond anything I could have written.
Come on.
100% on the level. I think it's kind of a crazy masterpiece. Drew, I can't tell you how it pleases me that you're writing. It pained me to think that you'd given it up.
I gave up screenwriting for hire, not writing. I've been rereading the early novels of Dostoevsky. I was trying to give the play an element of the comic grotesque.
Well, you achieved a wonderful balance. In a moment, I'm going to toss out the word genius.
I can't believe you liked it so much. Wow. And the part where the mother slaps the girlfriend, was that too much?
I loved that she slapped her several times. Oh, it's brilliant. That's all I can say.
It is, isn't it?
Really? Honestly?
Right hand to God.
Months of diligent hard work have paid off.
This is data you can truly begin. Will you contact the scientific journals?
Oh no, I'm far from ready to disclose my findings, but mark my words, in 2 years, nay, 16 months, I shall successfully create a human double in this laboratory.
You will have gone beyond anything I have ever achieved.
Good afternoon, ladies.
How did you get past the locked doors?
Doesn't require a PhD. Hey, aren't you going to introduce me to your esteemed colleague?
This is Dr. Rulisbitz, Mr. Stephen Bartlett.
Oh,
That's right. The son of.
What can I do for you, Mr. Bartlett?
You left something behind in your mad haste to escape our dastardly clutches.
Oh.
Yeah, I'd prefer you opened it when we were, alone.
You are impertinent.
Dr. Hudson, I can't leave the room.
Well, you're my kind of gal, Doc. Quick on the draw.
Constance, I shall see you tomorrow. And my dear, get some rest. Good day, Mr. Bartlett.
And burning the late night oil
And if I have...
becomes you. Your hair isn't quite so tight.
Now, may I see what's inside that package?
My pleasure. They were found in a closet in the old lab. You didn't miss them? They look awfully, comfy.
It was thoughtful of you to return them, but why? I should think I would be persona non grata in the world of Queenie, Bartlett and Company.
You're not on her list of favorites. You know, that was not a nice letter that you wrote her. Hurt her feelings, hurt them bad.
It was an unfortunate situation that I prefer not to discuss. How is your mother?
Something's up with her. Yeah, I don't think she's well. Of course, she denies it. Yeah, I told her that she should see a doctor. Well, maybe she's anemic.
Is that why you're here? You think I know something?
Well, do you? My mother is everything in the world to me.
There's really nothing I could tell you.
You seem different today.
We've had some exciting developments.
Well, that's good. When things go well, get you charged up. What's that, the chemical inside? Makes your heart race.
Adrenaline.
Yeah. Adrenaline.
I really must get back to work.
That great brain of yours is always charged.
Sometimes I don't know what to think. Stephen, I'm not the sort of woman who...
You're not thinking now.
Oh, Stephen, I can't help but wonder if I'm not merely a feminine symbol that you're compelled to penetrate for social rather than sexual gratification.
Nope. Yeah, I got the plain old-fashioned hots for you.
Stephen, this is wrong. You have a wife.
Let's have this moment to remember.
Would that be enough? Wouldn't you want more?
You're very confident. I don't like that in a woman.
you mistake for confidence is merely an old maid's trepidation of the phallus.
Connie, I never do nothing to hurt you.
I'm afraid my studies of the male of the species has left me singularly unimpressed.
Angel, I once read something in a book, and truer words were never written. Don't, and by all means, don't believe everything you read in books.
Come, child, don't straggle behind. The field of blackberries lies just ahead.
Yes, Baba Yaga.
My dear, it is only a rat, formerly Yakov Petrovich, the innkeeper. Why, he'll no longer turn away a weary traveler. But my dear, I see I frighten you as much as the rat.
Everything and everyone frightens me. I pray when I marry Prince Mishka, I shall have a child that will be without fear and shall love me always.
Love you always? Is that what you think happens when you have a child? Ha!
Well, I hope I've been a small comfort to you. I'm sorry I'm not my twin.
True, she is amusing, open-hearted. Her eyes sparkle with life. But there is something to be said of a bleak sourpuss. You have seen the dark underbelly of those who live happily among others. I would say you are the perfect companion for a miserable old witch.
Soon my twin will have accomplished her goal. The prince shall be mine and I shall be leaving. My happiness will be my revenge upon all of my tormentors.
If you believe that, then you are a fool. You do not love him. You wish to acquire him as a weapon.
I'm not a fool. Please do not call me that.
Покажи дураку правду! Look at your reflection in the pond and tell me if you do not see the greatest fool of all.
I do not wish to look.
Look in the water, child! You are afraid not to. Go on. Go on. Now tell me, what do you see?
I see your face!
Why bother breaking in? Don't I always give you the SP596 you crave?
I was looking for morphine. Spreading it around town makes me quite the popular fellow.
Did you make that key? You're very clever. Did you also make the key to break into my files?
I haven't gone anywhere near your
You
files.
can drop your mass with me. What have you done with them? Where are they?
With what? What are you talking
The
about?
files, my research, my formula for human duplication.
I tell you I haven't touched your files!
You disgust me.
Don't say that!
Oh, how I rue the day that you were fertilized in that petri dish.
No! Please, don't!
Oh, I should have known the experiment was a failure from the start. Oh, I should have immediately washed that dish out with lime.
At last all is revealed. Your venom, your essential cruelty!
Yes, all is revealed. I chose to keep you alive. I fed you. I protected you.
As a laboratory animal, a guinea pig, a rodent!
Any animal would have been more of a comfort, but you have been nothing but a source of misery, a bitter mistake.
I tell you I haven't touched your files. It isn't what you think.
Did you throw them away? They're meaningless to anyone else.
I didn't.
Did you derive pleasure in ripping them apart?
Let go of me!
Where are they? Where are they? My heart beats to me. It's all
What about the scene where the sun was dying?
You really and truly, I love the whole play. But have you considered a switcheroo and having the mother be the one who's dying?
changes the whole thing.
No, it doesn't. Oh, it would be heartbreaking. I tell you what, let me take a crack at it. I will strengthen the mother, give it some well-needed laughs, beef up the suspense. Huh. Half the writers at Metro had me reworking their scripts. Why are you looking at me like that? Oh, this is, after all, a first draft.
Who said it was a first draft? Oh, God. I'm such an idiot. I fell right into your trap.
You ask me for my help, and then you fly off the handle when I give it.
I am not flying off the handle. And I didn't ask for your help. If I recall correctly, you rifled through my drawer and read a play of mine without my consent.
That is called a mother's love. And something your play is vitally missing.
Oh, gee, I wonder why.
I've had my failings, but I was a damn good mother. Why do I have to justify my existence to you? It's like I'm auditioning. For the last 3 years since my accident, I have been up for the role of your mother. When do I get put under contract, Drew, huh? I'm not getting any younger. I still have so much to offer.
Mother, I'll tell you why you're here. You're broke. And you're washed up in the business. Yeah, this producer at Republic, the MJ what's-his-name, has dangled a possibility,
More than a
a
possibility.
remote possibility in front of you like a carrot. You've never been able to discipline yourself enough to write a script without a contract. Yeah, all this talk of my great genius. You think I'm a mediocre hack, but you need me to make the deadline.
Well, if that's how you want to think about it, I'm a big girl. I'll do fine without you. I always have. You know, kid, you had it easy. Every door was open to you.
That is absolutely not true. When I was first starting out, you never once called out any of your deep friendships in the industry to help me. You didn't want the competition.
I was your greatest champion. When I did introduce you to people, you were insulting and downright sullen. You should know, the girls have absolutely had it with your rudeness.
God, the girls. You know their combined ages are older than the Magna Carta? One of the greatest pleasures of my Midwestern exile is not having to endure another dinner party of your coven. Women who created Hollywood.
Hey, thank God for Mary Pickford and Frances Marion and Anita Luce and Madeline Andrews. Warm, loving women of achievement who go out of their way to help one another.
Madeline Andrews warm, loving that cold fish?
Don't you dare criticize Maddie. She is a great friend and a top-notch pro.
I wasn't Queenie Bartlett yet. Just a dame from Corkscrew Alley.
You know, Mother, she bores me when I have to sit next to her, and she's boring me now.
Yeah, well, right now I find you a crashing bore, and I have no interest in speaking to you any further.
The rumor mill has it you once had a steamy romance with Tyrone Power.
I had one pleasant rendezvous with Mr. Power. He was always my favorite. Kid, ooh, you give a good injection. I didn't even feel a pinch. I sure can depend on you.
More than that ungrateful son of yours.
Don't talk like that.
Mother, I can't go back to being your Frankenstein monster, your worshipful drone. I cannot go back to putting you to bed after you've drunk too much.
You have never put me to bed in your life.
Oh, I frequently put you to bed.
Okay. I have had enough of being your punching bag. Really. That's it. That's it. I am not going to take it anymore. Good luck to you, kid. I will be on the next train out of here.
Well, let me find the schedule. Trains to Los Angeles don't run on the hour, you know.
To hell with the goddamn schedule. If I have to, I'll wait at the goddamn train station all goddamn night.
I would never have treated you the way he did.
You're a good boy. I've got to run.
Want me to go with you?
No. You stay here and babysit the new edition. I won't be long.
Expecting company?
I bet it's a reporter wanting a quote on Senator Crenshaw's belly-aching unorganized crime.
I'll give him a quote. In the solar plexus.
Don't bother. I'll pull a Houdini through the service elevator. See you, kid.
You're here a lot, aren't you?
I make myself useful.
Where's my mother?
She's out.
Well, out where?
I'd rather not say.
I want to know what's going on with my mother.
If you loved her, you wouldn't need me to answer your questions.
Who the hell are you to tell me how much I love my mother?
I know you've hurt her, and you'll hurt her again by bringing this tramp around.
Oh, put this circus freak out of his misery.
I may be ugly, but jealousy is turning you positively green.
Me jealous of you?
Ah! Your mama and I have become best buddies. We have lots of fun together. She's teaching me how to play canasta. I'm the only one she can trust. She calls me her keeper of the secrets.
What secrets? What do you know?
Oh, don't listen to him, Steve. He's bluffing.
Why don't you and I find some private little place to talk? Oh, I forget. You don't like small places. Poor Stevie might wet himself.
I'm gonna kill you, pinhead! But not today. Because when I do, I'm gonna take a nice, long time with it. Now get out!
Do you mind if I collect my things from the other room? I've been staying here, you know.
You're gonna get your stuff and put your hat on. That toupee of yours reeks of something awful.
Yeah.
It isn't my toupee. I expelled gas through my ears.
Just when I thought I'd had everything.
Did you see him wiggling them ears? I bet you he just stunk up this joint on purpose.
Ma! Wait, I thought you were out. But I can't tell you how much I missed you. Yeah, I'm miserable when we're not speaking.
Are you my son? Do I love you? I do.
Well, I love you. Say, you look great. Mama, you been to one of them health farms out there in the desert?
Mother Bartlett?
Mother?
I know we got off on the wrong foot, but,
Who's this?
You want to start all over again, don't you? Oh, Ma, you're the best! Hey, what do you say? I take both of my girls out for a nice lunch.
Both? Only one of us is here.
Steve, I think I'm gonna wait for you outside in the Ford Vita, okay?
Yeah, you're definitely yourself again, Ma. There's only one of you.
Drew, just remember, you only have one mother. Chase her out the door in 30-degree weather.
I haven't chased you out the door. You're indomitable. You barge in. You take over.
What's wrong? Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm all right.
You're breathing funny.
My heart is racing. I can't catch my breath.
Do you feel shooting pains in your arms?
I don't know. What? You think I'm having a heart attack?
No, that's not what he said. I'm just asking.
I've never felt like this before.
Okay. All right, I'm driving you to the hospital. I want you checked out.
I'm all right. Really, I'm all right. Oh, Jesus!
Okay, hey, you're gonna be all right, okay? This is just, come on, let's get the car. Come on, baby.
Don't be frightened, Mother. Oh, God, my heart really feels like it's about to explode out of my chest. Hey, you were there when John Gilbert had his heart attack, right?
This is no time for stories, okay? Come on, I got you.
The sun is not my friend.
Oh, but look at the many colors of the wool. So pretty it shall look on your frail shoulders.
Oh, my sweet creation. However did you find the time to create such a masterpiece of knitting? You have been so busy seducing the prince. Certainly by now he is in love with you. And perhaps you with him?
It is Vasilisa he shall love, and I pray will marry very soon.
You can drop your mask with me.
I wear no mask. Last night, as Prince Mishka and I strolled under the cherry blossoms, he told me he loved me.
I did not think it would happen so quickly.
Is it not wonderful? I had Vasilisa rush to the palace, for I knew Prince Mishka would be waiting for her. Indeed, when she arrived, he asked her to marry him, and she has accepted.
Why was I not told of this? How dare you keep it a secret?
But this is not what you wanted. This was our every dream. Soon, Vasilisa shall leave the dark forest forever to become the beloved bride of Prince Mishka.
You fool! I am not ready for her to go so quickly. No, this cannot be.
But I did this all in your bed.
Oh, you hateful creature! How cruel of you to take my girl away from me so quickly!
Please don't say that!
Oh, I wish you had never been born! Go away! I cannot bear to look at you! Go away!
Darling, it was all in your head. All in your head. You know, one of these days you really will work yourself up to a heart attack. Ugh, I could kill you for putting us through this today. I'm so relieved there's nothing physically wrong with you.
Well, there wasn't when we left the hospital. The drive back may have permanently dislodged my vertebrae. You know, there is a reason why you've been in 6 car accidents. You don't know how to drive.
Counted among my many failings.
I'll concede you weren't any worse a parent than the others of your ilk.
Ooh, how generous of you.
I say that with great tenderness. You know, none of you picture people should have ever had children. Writers, actors, directors, producers. Every kid I know turned out bad.
Oh, my dear. There are plenty of offspring of postal employees who today are lying on psychoanalysts' couches. Look at my parents. A salt-of-the-earth pharmacist and his wife. Oh, they regularly beat me with a strap for the slightest infraction. Huh. There are things I've never told you about my childhood. Things I've never told anyone. Don't even discuss it with myself.
That sounds cryptic.
Oh, the last thing I mean to be is melodramatic. Oh, there are some memories, my boy, that you file away on an upper shelf. I've done my best to shield you from my personal problems so you wouldn't grow up neurotic.
Mother, don't count that among your successes.
Were you able to close your eyes for a moment? A short nap can cure most ills. I wish I had one to offer. I don't know how it happens that I'm out of coffee. I'll fix you a drink.
Thank you, but automatons do not consume alcohol. As you know, I'm a robot with no human feelings. Well, perhaps we could experiment and see if gin warps the mechanisms. Do you have the formula for a perfect martini?
I'm pouring you a small glass of schnapps.
Dr. Rutenspitz, didn't you notice my cunning use of the word formula? It's missing. Research files empty. Years of work obliterated.
Yes, I suspected as much.
Oh, Zygote should have been destroyed at his conception. Thank you. I was warned by everyone. I was too arrogant to listen.
Have you proof that Zygote stole the files?
And there was no one else, and it wasn't Queenie Bartlett. She doesn't have the knowledge or means to use the formula to make a human double. It had to be Zygote.
I imagine you have made some attempt to reconstruct the stolen materials?
Oh, it's useless. Oh, it's useless. A great, miserable failure. I could have almost predicted it.
Oh, how so?
Well, I try too hard. I'm humorless. Miracles don't happen to my kind.
Oh, well, at this point, I'd recommend a change of direction. Perhaps working with children.
I have no interest in unformed brains unless they're pickled in formaldehyde.
But it could prove therapeutic. You could tell them stories.
I don't know any stories. You know, I've always been afraid of children. Years ago, I worked for a city health clinic in New York. Late one wintry afternoon, an old immigrant woman came in with a broken wrist, accompanied by her granddaughter. The girl was 15, though she appeared much younger. This child would have definitely intrigued you.
Oh, why is that?
She was delicate, not particularly pretty, and excruciatingly shy. Oh, it took prodding for her to even reveal her name, Margaret. However, I sensed a true intelligence hidden there, and almost painful sensitivity. You know, we barely exchanged a word, and it was as if we were in perfect sympathy with each other. I thought, now this is someone I could help. Perhaps with her carrying away, she could grow up to be a nurse, maybe even a doctor, and I would gain so much from knowing this child. The two of us, Margaret and me.
You contacted the girl's family?
Well, I wrote them. I explained that I very much wanted to educate their daughter, and they, you know, it was a painful few weeks before they actually wrote me back. Well, her mother was grateful for my proposal, and she arranged for me to meet Margaret that following Saturday at Columbus Circle at the edge of the park. Oh, I was nervous at the prospect of seeing her again, but Margaret surprised me by immediately kissing me on the cheek. A familiarity I found a tad excessive. Well, I explained that I very much wanted to be her mentor. She thanked me profusely, and she was remarkably outgoing and gregarious. So different than a reserved man at the clinic. I do apologize for the length of this anecdote. I'm not used to telling stories.
Oh, no. Do go on. My interest has been more than piqued.
Now then, I will help myself to another schnapps. It seems to make me a bit more, loquacious. For several months, you see, Margaret came over at least 4 times a week. Oh, she was an excellent student, and she flourished under my guidance. She was always full of good humor, but physically demonstrative. You know, a hug around my waist, her head leaning against my shoulder.
Oh, like a daughter.
No, something kept me from returning her affections there. There was a quality missing that I never saw again after that first meeting at the clinic. The painful sadness, the poetic silence was gone. Late one afternoon, we were discussing a paper that she had written on Dostoevsky's novella, The Double. It seems the element of the book that haunted her was the tragedy of 2 people sharing one identity.
And how did you respond?
My response was that there were numerous engraved spelling errors and an appalling use of the subjunctive. Well, Margaret burst into tears. I said, my dear, whatever could be the matter. She said she could no longer go on with this deceit. That she, in fact, was not Margaret, but Maureen.
What?
Yes, there were 2 of them. She was Maureen's twin. It seemed that Margaret didn't want to accept my proposal. She told Maureen that I had frightened her at our first meeting at the clinic. Oh, how I misread her every look. She thought me cold and forbidding like a witch in a fairy tale. However, her high-spirited sister found my proposal to be the answer to her dreams. It was in fact Maureen who wrote me at this point, only pretending to be her own mother.
Were you not touched by the girl's enthusiasm to learn?
No, I was furious at being duped, hard and sick at being rejected by one so like me at her age. If there were a genuine pair of twins, it was the real Margaret and me. I was ashamed to see that. Well, I told her, I called her a painful, pathological liar, and I told her she'd never amount to anything as long as she lived because she was morally bankrupt. Oh, she sobbed that she had done all she could do to make me love her, but I refused to listen. I grabbed her by her wrist, I pushed her out the door, and I bolted it shut.
Oh, my dear.
But she banged her fist against the door, pleading with me to take her back. I have erased this from my mind for so long. I've always prided myself on my ability to put ugly truths behind me. Do your work. Don't look back, full steam ahead. I don't want to be an automaton. I want to breathe. Where's my coat? Where are you going? Well, I have to see someone who makes me feel just a little bit human.
Drew? Hello? You spend too much time in Hamlet-like soul-searching. In your writing and your life. For God's sake, dive into a pool of piranhas. Jump off the cliff. Leap over the volcano.
Yeah, I suppose I get my introspective nature from my father.
You gotta be kidding me. Your father has never had a deep thought in his life.
My father enjoys his work as a mailman because it gives him time to reflect on the world.
Did he tell you this?
He didn't have to. You know, these past 3 months have been very special to Dad and me. We rarely need words. We can spend a beautiful day together almost without speaking. I've discovered that at the heart, I'm very much a Nebraskan like my dad and his father and his father before him. Unlike you, I can derive the greatest pleasure from simply looking at the colors of amber and purple that streak across the prairie skies. I've spent hours poring over Dad's family scrapbooks, and I see myself. I look like my father's people. I am my father's son.
I don't know how to tell you this. No, I won't. I can't do that. I should. I won't.
What are you mumbling about?
Oh, I could drop such a bombshell on you. But I swore that I wouldn't, and I won't.
What bombshell?
There's no bombshell.
Just spill it.
Oh, I dreaded this moment.
My father is not my father.
How did you know?
Because I know how you write. I know how you build a scene.
Well, what have you to say about that?
You are the most amazing... No. No, that sounds like a compliment. And it's so clear. You have to damage my relationship with Dad so I will return and write your screenplay with you.
The simple fact is, he's not your father. Not by birth.
No. No, the simple fact is that you find it impossible to accept that I might have any allegiance or even affection for anyone else. Any possibility of that is a betrayal of you. What the heck is the story? Huh? Who is my real father?
say. Hollywood was a very different town in the teens. We worked all day. And we played all night.
You were quite the popular gal.
I wasn't lonely. But I did find myself in a difficult position. As free-thinking as my circle was, I couldn't parade about a child born out of wedlock. My only recourse was to come home to Nebraska. One afternoon, this young postman came to deliver the mail, and it turned out we'd known each other in school. He was sympathetic to my plight, and he offered to marry me and give my unborn child his name. I made it clear that I had every intention of returning immediately to Los Angeles after my child's birth and filing for divorce. I thought he understood and was fine with it. However, after you were born, he became sentimental. And he grew to actually believe that you were his flesh and blood.
What a despicable man.
Okay, I was certainly not going to become a postman's wife in Nebraska. So I was forced to flee. In the dark of the night, the wee babe in my arms. True.
Mother, you slay me. You slay me.
Okay, don't get yourself...
It never occurred to you before to give me the lowdown on my birth?
I suppose I should have told you years ago, but I was afraid.
What? Yeah, you'd lose me?
True. You must believe me that my love for you is the only pure, beautiful thing in my entire awful life.
Verna, give me some more of those, Edams.
Oh, the chocolate bonbons. I'm so glad you liked them, but you finished the whole bag. And after all those digs about my big can. Not sure how crazy I am about this dress. You know, I don't like anything that masks my curves.
Ooh, shiny, pretty.
Well, bless my blonde heart, I never would have thought that was quite your style. I always think of you as, pure Chanel.
Really? Is that what I am? Oh, I just want to buy everything. Hats, shoes, scarves. I want it all. Oh, and then I want Steve to take us dancing. I want to dance my Vita. I want to dance till I drop.
Well, sister, I sure had you pegged wrong.
You don't know me. Nobody knows me.
Well, if I knew you any better, I'd say you were on a toot.
I want to be on a toot, whatever that is. I want to go to a movie. I want to see a movie with Tyrone Power. I love Tyrone Power.
Oh, I always had a bit of a time power myself. Tell me, what did you think of, the Razor's Edge? It was a little highbrow for my taste.
I didn't see that one.
Oh, well then you must have loved him in Johnny Apollo.
I don't know that one.
Oh, well, I thought you said you loved Tyrone Power.
I just love him. Stop asking me questions. Try on that dress.
Hey, I will. You know, I'm not sure if I should step into this one, or maybe put it on my head. Maybe you could give me a hand. Oh, are you there, Mrs. B? Please. Mother Bartlett, what are you doing?
I know who you are. I know what you're after.
You're not well. You're not yourself.
I am myself, and I'm wise to the whole picture. Queenie told me everything, and there are things she didn't have to tell me.
But you are Queenie. Honey, why don't we sit down? Maybe they can get you some water.
Don't move! It'll be better for you if I shoot you once, cleanly between the eyes.
Oh, she did it, didn't she? Oh, you're not Queenie, you're the other one! The double! Oh, you've just been born, haven't you?
I must do this for Steve. He is everything.
Hey, he's everything to me too, whoever you are. I love him.
You're the enemy. Queenie told me. The double-crossing, two-faced whore is Crenshaw's girl. She's been on the government payroll since day one. She's out to destroy our boy.
Yes! Yes. I was for hire. But once I was in, I honestly fell in love with Steve.
You want to hurt my baby. You want to cut him
What
up.
do you say? No, it's nothing like that. Yes, I was working as a double agent, but I never gave them one shred of information that would do any good.
You're a liar.
Queenie doesn't want you to do this, does she? She might have thought it, but she would have never pulled the trigger. You're taking your cue from her private thoughts, aren't you? But that's not fair, because we all have awful thoughts that we don't really want done. Admit it. She never asked you to kill Verna. Did she?
She didn't have to ask me. I just know she wants it. If she wants it, I want it. It's done. I wonder if they have this in a smaller size. Are you insane? Of course I didn't kill Verna. Yes, I didn't like her. Yes, I knew she was out to betray us both. Yes, she dressed like a carnival cooch dancer, but no, I didn't kill her or order her to be killed.
Ma, don't lie to me. People saw you.
Who are these witnesses? Give me their names. Your girl was singing to the feds. Maybe they ordered the hit. They do that to their own.
Don't lie to me. You've never lied to me.
Then why would I start now? Son, I'm not sorry to see that creature dead.
Ma!
She was bad. I knew it from the beginning.
Stop it!
I have people high up who told me the wolf was in the sheepfold. My mistake was not warning you. I knew you loved her. If I told you she was working for the other side, I was afraid I'd lose you. My love for you is the only beautiful, pure thing in my entire awful life.
Queenie. I think you'll find this of interest. The Los Angeles Philharmonic owes its birth to William Andrews Clark Jr., a multimillionaire and amateur musician who established Los Angeles' first permanent symphony orchestra in 1919.
How long before the music starts up again?
Intermission usually lasts about 15 minutes. You liked the Tchaikovsky?
Oh, crazy about it. I love music. So does Queenie. My first fella played the harmonica after we made love in the alley behind the wax museum. Should I think that's bad? I don't know. Have you ever made love in an alley?
Queenie, people do not ask such questions. This part is interesting. Following its opening season, the orchestra made Philharmonic Auditorium on the northeast corner of 5th and Olive Streets. It's home.
You're feeling sick, aren't you? That scares you.
I'm feeling fine. This program is filled with interesting facts.
That lady in the red Balenciaga is staring at you. She's making a face to her friend.
Doesn't matter, it happens all the time.
Lady, what are you staring at? See your own ugly mug in the mirror? I'd like to claw her face off. Why does everybody stare at you? I think you're cute. I once went to bed with a deaf piano salesman from Cleveland. Golly, I think I know what a piano is. But what in the hell is a Cleveland? Is he here? Have you seen him?
Who, the piano salesman?
No, silly. Senator Crenshaw. He's supposed to be here tonight.
Is that why you wanted to come to the concert?
He's so mean to Queenie and Steve. He wants to hurt them bad. Why?
What do you have in your purse, Queenie? A sack full of those chocolate bonbons you like so much. Will you give me one?
Never ask a lady what she has in her bag. Poor baby didn't have a mama to teach him manners. Read me some more about the orchestra. Go on, please.
The current music director is Alfred Wallenstein. He is the 5th to be appointed to this post since Walter Henry Rothwell conducted the orchestra's premiere performance in 1990. Queenie? Queenie! Queenie!
Thank you for coming. I would have met you anywhere you wanted.
Under the circumstances, it was safer for me to come to you.
How can you be so sure your mother killed Verna?
Well, she was seen by 10, 20 witnesses going into that fit room. And then Ma came out of the store alone. You made up some cock and bull story how Verna wanted to do more shopping. She catch up with us later. You know, Ma always hated Verna.
But enough to kill her.
Well, she says she has proof that Verna was working for the feds. That everything between us from the very beginning was a lie.
And you believe her?
Yeah, I believe her. God, I'm sweating. You really need some fresh air in here.
Where is your mother now?
Well, don't you read the papers or listen to the radio?
No, I try not to.
Ma is the biggest news in the world right now. She killed a United States Senator.
Stephen, what are you saying?
She bumped off Senator Crenshaw. Yeah, she shot him while I was at a concert at Philharmonic Auditorium. She is out for revenge on anyone who's done us dirt. And that's what makes no sense. In her entire career, she's almost never had to play rough. That's her genius. Why would she suddenly go crazy and start robbing people out?
Stephen, your mother's sick. I mean, physically, she's very ill. She's been taking many strong medications that can certainly cloud judgment.
I'm not feeling very good. Have I got a temperature?
Well, you may be slightly elevated.
God can't take me into tight places. It's my Achilles heel now calls it. We have a hideout in the Nevada desert. Yeah, I'm certain that's where she's holding up. Oh, it's only a matter of time before the feds nab her. They'll take her dead or alive. God, I got the shakes. I can't even stand up.
Yes, you can. Claustrophobia is not a physical condition.
Then why do I want to die? Oh, God, Connie.
Look into my eyes. Take a deep breath. And begin counting backwards from 50.
What are you trying to do?
I'm going to hypnotize you. Now, concentrate on my eyes.
Well, that's not hard. You know, I know we never could have made it, but y'all confess, there have been times I dreamed about us being together.
Perhaps we could. That's why I needed to see you.
What do you say?
Oh, I've lost everything I thought was important. I want to be a new Constance Hudson. The other one, the one with no feelings, that one is prepared to die, but this one is ready to live.
Well, now you're going crazy. I wouldn't let you do it.
Isn't that up to me to decide?
Dr. Constance Hudson, a gun moll. It ain't gonna happen.
Oh, please, Stephen, take me with you. I'm not too proud to beg.
Yeah, I tell you, I wouldn't let it happen. You've got important work to do. You've got a future.
Oh, please, Stephen, I can't go on the way I am.
No, baby. And that's the end of that discussion. How am I gonna walk out of here?
Dr. Hudson!
Zygote, you're ill.
Yes, Dr. Hudson, it seems I've reached my expiration date. Public enemy number 2 doesn't seem to be faring very well either.
I'm gonna survive long enough to see you stuffed and mounted in a glass case.
No, Stephen, be careful.
Connie,
Yes.
thanks for those earlier sweet thoughts, but I'm gonna pretend you never said any of them.
No.
Never heard a word.
These are dark days for the Bartlett family.
How do you know them? How do you know Stephen?
I'm a, shall we say, business connection of Mrs. Bartlett.
You sold her narcotics.
The feds are gonna kill her. To Queenie, it would be kind of a blessing, but she doesn't want to make it easy for them. You have to admire a dame like that. Ah!
Here, come sit down.
Is my decline. According to your statistics, parts of my body have begun to turn lovely shades of amber and puce. I daren't take off my toupee. I have a terrible case of the runs.
Oh, yes, all of this would conform to my calculations.
Termination of the organism is near.
Yes, very near, I'm afraid.
Oh, what perfect symmetry. I should end my life once more under your observation.
Do you suppose that Mrs. Bartlett's recent violent behavior could be due to the prescription drugs she's taking and the drugs you've sold her?
You don't know? You really don't know?
But I can't know anything without full disclosure of the drugs in her body.
What a laugh! The brilliant Dr. Hudson is as ignorant as a child. Queenie Bartlett hasn't killed anybody. Not since she iced Jimmy the Nose in a phone booth 20 years ago.
Oh, here, be still. Try to be still.
Oh, Dr. Hudson, at this moment you seem, dare I say, almost motherly. Oh, the pain is subsiding.
For once, I came extremely close to experiencing that fabled maternal instinct.
You were with child?
I used my own eggs in an experiment.
My experiment? In some quarters, you could be considered my mother.
Well, once I peered at that newly fertilized egg through the microscope, I felt a kind of love. Oh, it frightened me as I'd never been frightened before, but you see, I could allow nothing to interfere with my objective studies of your emotional, neurological, and physical development.
Funny enough, I could almost forgive you for that.
Zygote?
Almost forgive you for that. But can you forgive the one who stole their
Formula!
Oh.
My cellular duplication formula?
Oh.
Darling, I know why you stole it. Oh, you felt a need to destroy me. You sold it to Mrs. Bartlett, didn't you? She's in possession of it now, I know. Yes, that was your revenge.
Oh, it's not that. Oh, what does it matter? You need to see the novel anyway.
What?
Queenie too!
Queenie Bartlett, where is Queenie Bartlett?
Chuckawalla!
Chuckawalla! Chuckawalla in the bonnet? Queenie Bartlett is in Chuckawalla in the bonnet. Spitz! Rubenspitz! Dr. Rubenspitz, where is Dr. Rubenspitz? I've been so worried. Chuckawalla? She's in Chuckawalla with Queenie? Oh, I know, Mrs. Bartlett. She's holding Dr. Rubenspitz hostage, isn't she? Yes, she's using Dr. Rubenspitz as a human shield to shield her from the FBI, isn't she? Isn't she? No, isn't she? No.
Was that the wind blowing the shutters? A lonely sound. You really like living by yourself.
Yep.
I hate it. The worst part is not being able to laugh at catastrophes. When you were with me, if the car broke down or the stove caught fire, we turned it into a zany caper. Alone is just terrifying. Sad.
You seem to go out a lot.
I try. I put on my brightest lipstick and a stealthy hat and I show up at parties. And they all look at me like I am a ghost from the crazy old days.
Well, what about the coven?
Mary never leaves her room at Pickfair. Lillian and Anita, they moved to New York. Madeline has her young proteges. Frances, is obsessed with her sculpture. And Adela has turned to Jesus. Oh, I could use a hobby. Maybe I'll get hooked on pills.
We're really dipping into the cauldron of self-pity, aren't we?
With both hands, baby. I am right back to the same lonely oddball kid I was in Nebraska.
You're the shy Princess Vasilisa from that fairy tale I love so much. And you've transformed yourself into your own fabulous twin.
I feel more like the old witch.
Well, it's a good story. Yeah, I suppose that's why it's lasted hundreds of years.
Honey, that is not an authentic Russian fairy tale. I made that story up to comfort you. Because you felt like such a misfit.
You made it up?
Well, I cobbled together several stories and I added my own twist. I'm a storyteller. That's what I do. And now I've lost my touch.
You'll find a writing assignment.
You're missing the point. can't write anymore. Oh, God. I can't believe I'm saying this. I have no shortage of ideas. I come up with a different one every day. But when I sit down at the typewriter, or even put pen to paper, nothing happens. Oh God, I'm so frightened.
Every writer goes through something like this. It passes.
No, living alone has aged me. It's dulling my edge. Oh God, Drew. I'm so scared. I'm so scared.
Hey, you are as sharp as a steak knife at Musso's.
Oh God, kid, you have to help me.
I can't write this script for you.
No, we'll inspire each other, huh? You'll spark me. Hey, we're good for each other.
I can't go back with you. I just can't.
Please.
I can't.
Certainly made a mess of myself. I gotta think up. Up. That's the ticket. Energy stimulates opportunity, and opportunity creates creativity. That's the Aries in me coming out. Just keep seeing the same lonely, battered, old, house in the middle of the desert. Somehow the mob queen and her son end up there and have to patch things up.
Stop.
Early evening. A hideout. Worn shutters smack against the building. Sagebrush blowing in the wind. The queen of the mob sits by a campfire, shivering in a fabulous mink coat. The gangster's son joins her. He has his collar turned up. They always have their collars turned up.
Steve, don't blame yourself. It makes perfect sense that you think I killed Verna. How could you have known that I had a double that could read my mind and was knocking off my enemies?
I should have guessed it. After all, you did have Connie on the payroll to create such a thing.
Shh! Queenie's sleeping. And for God's sake, don't call her a thing. She's very touchy.
What are we going to do with her? Frankly, she gives me the willies.
When she's not a merciless killing machine, she's really rather dear. She's, what's the word I'm looking for? She's guileless.
Well, there's no one like you.
Under the circumstances, that statement doesn't exactly hold up.
We can't let her go around murdering any sucker who looks at us the wrong way. Your reputation is suffering, Ma.
I know she's got to go, but it'll be like killing part of myself.
Did you honestly think that I wouldn't eventually figure out that she was an imposter? You and I are the real twins. Yeah, I'm the one who does your every bidding, and I'm happy to do it.
Baby, I don't know what I was thinking. All I knew was that I had to protect you. I can't leave you alone in the ugly world with no one on your side.
How much time do the doctors give you?
Hard to predict. Despite their heroic efforts, this thing inside me just keeps growing. Kid, at a certain point, I may have to ask you to help me pull off the Dutch act.
What? Help you knock yourself off? Ma, don't ask me to do that.
I may not be able to ask you. You'll just have to know when the time is right. I'll be counting on that. When that moment comes, I want you to think of it as a beautiful gift that'll make it easier for you. So we're square?
Yeah, we're square.
What's that?
It's probably another coyote.
Personally, I give the desert back to the Indians. That was no coyote. Get in the house.
Mom, let me take care of this.
Get in the house, I said.
I've got you covered.
Whoever's out there, be a man and show your face.
Mrs. Bartlett, it is I, Dr. Constance Hudson.
Go back to your Bunsen burner, Dr. Hudson. I'm warning you.
I'm not afraid of you, Mrs. Bartlett.
That was to show you I mean business.
As a scientist with the manual dexterity to pluck the nucleus from an embryo, I'm quite confident in the accuracy of my aim.
Not bad, honey. Not bad. But remember, I'm the one in the catbird seat. I'm the dame who knows her days are numbered.
You're not going to kill me, Mrs. Bartlett.
Take one step nearer and I will. I've gotten everything I want out of you.
There's only one thing I want, and when I get it, I shall gladly leave Chuckle on.
And what is that?
I know you're holding my colleague, Dr. Rubensmith, hostage. I want you to let her go.
All you had to do was ask. There was no reason to fire guns and make vulgar threats. Hilda, you have a visitor!
There shall be a stiff penalty if you harm one hair on her head.
Oh, my dear colleague. You are the last person I expected to find out here in the desert.
Are you all right? I've been so worried.
Hilda, I'm going in the house to make a fresh pot of coffee. Would you like it?
Oh, no, thank you, dear. Connie! How did you know I was out here?
Zygote told me. When were you abducted?
What exactly did Zygote say?
Well, not much, I'm afraid. He was dying, and in his final moments, rapidly lost power of speech. However, I was able to deduce that you were being held hostage by the Bartletts.
Oh, dear Connie. I am not, nor have I ever been in any danger. At least, not from the Bartletts. Queenie, in fact, brought with her the finest liverwurst and sauerkraut I have ever tasted.
Have your newfound friends also told you that they stole the formula? Or rather, Zygote stole it for them?
Oh, my dear Connie. It was I who removed the data from a laboratory and sold the formula to Mrs. Bartlett for a very tiny sum.
You betrayed our great work. I don't believe it.
I was so close to uncovering the secrets of human molecular duplication. When you, a much younger woman, exceedingly bright but not a true genius as I was, rode on my scientific coattails. I tried very hard to fight my beta instincts of jealousy, but in the end, they won out. I had the courage you lacked to proceed immediately with human experimentation. She's in that house, you know.
She?
The double. For lack of a better term, we call her Queenie too.
That's what Zygote was trying to tell me.
Oh, I think it is time for you to meet your creation. Will you please send Queenie 2 out here? There have been some behavioral problems. Queenie 2 has all of Queenie 1's deepest feelings, but none of the life experience to handle them. Or rather, she has the memory of the experience, but has learned nothing from it.
It was Queenie 2 that killed Verna and Senator Crenshaw.
She executed them, acting on Queenie 1's unspoken desires.
Queenie's teaching me to play poker, but I always know when she's bluffing.
My dear, this is a protege of mine, Dr. Hudson.
Protege? Is that sort of like being your child?
Not quite.
Extraordinary.
Dr. Hudson has waited a very long time to meet you.
Are you my sister?
No.
My youngest brother Herman was a parish priest at St. Veronica's, 342 Otway. Crazy about dachshunds. A limousine ran over a collie. We carried it to the side of the road.
I'm so sorry.
Herman looks exactly like Uncle Ed. I mean, exactly. Uncle Ed was married 8 times. He wanted to take us in, but he couldn't. We had to stay in the orphanage. A woman there once told me the story about a princess who had a twin and a golden bird, a firebird. At the end, she flew away to the other side of the moon. Shine on, harvest moon. Aunt Mary Murgatroyd started off as a singer. She wore a wig ever since her hair fell out from a bad dye job. Sam Abatelli had to die. He didn't do the job. He taught me everything I needed to know about the numbers racket. My favorite number is 72. 72 West 23rd. Lonnie was only 24 when they got him. Bobby was hit 25 times. Why didn't they stop? 26 miles to the bridge. 27 Barrow Street. That's where they kept Stevie all tied up. He was only 4 years old. I had to kill 6 people to get the baby out alive. I got hit in the shoulder, didn't I?
Oh, don't try to remember everything. None of us can.
So, Connie, what do you think of our new addition?
How long have you known?
Hey, don't be mad at me. I only found out when I got here.
What are you two talking about? I don't like secrets.
It's just that I have so many questions I want to ask you.
I don't seem to have many answers.
Well, how do you feel? Huh? How's your tummy?
I'm always hungry. Queenie likes steak, red and bloody. Ooh, so do I.
How about your head? Does it sometimes ache?
No, should it?
No. Well, what is it like to see everything for the first time?
You ask a lot of questions.
I'm so terribly, terribly pleased to meet you.
You're soft and pretty. A princess in a fairy tale. Oh, do you know any fairy tales?
No, but I could make one up if you'd like. Look, I'm going to take Queenie 2 inside. She really shouldn't get cold.
We should check on Queenie. Queenie wants a drink. She loves her bourbon, but she doesn't want to get tight. Do I like bourbon?
Now, lady, this little formula has created quite a set of problems. You know that nothing good can come of this.
One can't question the curiosity of man. He must go ever forward until his dreams inevitably destroy the planet.
I'm not one to cast stones, but stealing that formula away from Connie was pretty low. I thought you considered her like your own child, not a very motherly thing to do.
Connie is both a beloved daughter and a bitter rival. I love her dearly, yet need her to fail. Perhaps that is true of many parents and their offspring.
Don't look here, Doc. My mother and I are the world to each other. The ground, the sky, and everything in between. They're here!
Who is coming closer!
The FBI! Get out!
The FBI riddles the son with bullets. My gun is that the mother should not be rubbed out. Not yet. She cradles the son in her arms. An underworld pietà. Are you with me? We gotta write this down.
Mother, please let go of me.
Okay, I'm just saying that at this point, the mother should definitely live.
Mother, I've got a story for you. A scorcher.
Oh, wonderful. Shoot.
3 years ago, when I got that phone call that you'd been in a car accident, I drove down to the hospital and I found you in that horrible trauma room. There was still blood in your hair. They told me that you were going to die. And this wave of intense panic swept over me. What would happen to me if you were gone? How could I exist in a world without you? Well, I had to be admitted to the hospital too, the psychiatric wing.
Drew, you're scaring me.
After I left you, I started going buggy. I was wandering around downtown, muttering to myself in a way that was making a lot of people extremely nervous. I don't remember any of this, but evidently I wandered into a department store and ended up in the ladies' try-on room. I guess I reverted back to when I was a little kid, and you used to take me in there with you to get my opinion. The police came, and they carted me off to the mental ward.
How long did this go on?
Friday through Tuesday. And then it just went away. You know, by the time you came out of the coma, I was strong enough to take care of you.
Wow. That's certainly the wildest story I've ever heard.
I know that I've been awful to you. Yeah, I gripe and moan and accuse you of every crime against humanity. And what's the point? With some half-hearted stab at independence? I moved all the way to Nebraska to get away from you. Well, I give up. You are the most fascinating person I'll ever know. Yeah, I should just accept my fate and enjoy it. I will go back to Los Angeles with you.
Okay, you can stop acting now. Get this satiric point.
No, I'm completely on the level. We always have fun together. I don't know, I'm forever trying to fight it. And I'll work on this outline with you. I can see the whole thing, truly. The zombie, the lady scientist. The mob queen. And she won't be some grotesque harridan like the mother in my play. No, the mob queen will have all sorts of colors and shadings. The mother in our movie, she'll be a portrait of someone you can be proud of. Let's keep going. Yeah? Where were we? The mob queen is cradling her son in her arms, right? An underworld pietà.
Stephen! Stephen! I gotta get you out of here. They'll be back. I gotta get you to a doctor.
No, Ma. If you get me to a hospital and I survive, the feds will put me away for good. Don't let them shut me away in some small dark place. Yeah, I'd go permanently buggy.
Hush, child.
It hurts so bad. You gotta let me go, Ma. Help me.
Don't ask me to do that. Please.
We're running out of time, Ma. They'll never let me see you again. I couldn't bear it. To know that you're out there and not able to see you. Don't let him take me away, Ma. Please. Please don't let him take me. Hey. Remember what you said. It's a gift.
It was like killing a child. She told me that her father took her to the end of the trolley line to gather wildflowers.
That was my fault.
Oh, Stephen. Not Stephen.
Queenie Bartlett, we're prepared to kill all of you. Bartlett, give yourself up.
If they killed you, they'd be doing you a favor.
Bartlett, we're giving you to the count of 5 to throw down your weapon. Then we shoot to kill.
Come on, let's make a run for it. We can take that path up into the mountains. Let's go.
2,
Come on, they'll never find us.
3.
But Stephen!
He wants you to save yourself. Let's go.
This is fantastic! Off they go into the mountains. Now let's start at the top, all right? The mob queen needs the lady scientist to make her a double to protect her crazy son after her death, right?
Drew,
Yeah.
it's a pity you've never hit it off with Madeline Andrews.
That is certainly the non sequitur of all time.
I know she comes off as icy and forbidding, but in her youth, Maddie was really quite a fun gal.
Okay.
Maddie found herself pregnant. A predicament for any girl, but one that would have truly signaled the absolute end of her budding career. All of us gals got together and pondered the situation carefully. How do we save Madeline? I think it was Frances Marion who suggested that one of us secretly adopt the child. be Mary Pickford or Lillian Gish. But I was in a position to go with Madeline to Omaha for a few months and return to Los Angeles, the proud mother of a newborn.
Now you're telling me that you're not my mother? You do realize this is the third version I've heard of my birth?
I told you the third story is usually the best. The first is the genesis of the idea, but usually completely off the track. The second is where you go overboard, flights of imagination. And the third story is when you return to the truth. But this is the truth.
I don't know why you chose to tell me this now. Are you trying to punish me? I said I would go back with you. You got what you wanted. Are you trying to get back at me for abandoning you for Dad? I always knew that there was an ugly, vindictive side to you. It was never before focused on me. And it won't ever be again. You are going back to Los Angeles alone.
Are you staying here?
I don't know where I'll go, but it'll be far away from you.
Baba Yaga, I see the truth. I spied on Prince Mishka and my twin. He loves her, not me. And she loves and understands him in ways that I never could. And now she's prepared to die so that I might become his bride.
Only one can wear his ring. One must vanish.
Baba Yaga the twin will remain in the role of Vasilisa and marry the prince. With all my heart, I wish them happiness. I will remain in the forest with you. I know how terribly lonely you are. I promise I will cook and clean and devote my life to your every need.
You would do that? You would stay here until the end of my days?
Yes, I would.
Then you cannot stay.
Oh, please do not abandon me.
You cannot stay because it is not good enough for you here. Dear child, how I shall miss you, but I cannot be guilty of such utter selfishness. Listen! Listen! What do you hear?
There's a large, powerful bird flying towards us with feathers as bright as flames.
The firebird! She's come for you! You caught the feather! That was a sign. But you had to prove that you were worthy. And you have. The firebird rewards the pure of heart. Yes, yes, my dear, you will climb aboard her strong back, and she will carry you to your beautiful future.
The future frightens me.
Do not be frightened. She will carry you to a new beginning in a new land. Come! The firebird approaches! We must find her! She awaits! She awaits!
Yes.
You always say that I put too much into the stage directions, but at this point in the picture, I would write, once in the kitchen, Drew opens the fridge and pauses for a moment, contemplating his newfound freedom. Perhaps it's simply the bracing chill from the icebox. but he soon catches on to what really just happened. His mother has spun yet another tale.
Darling, it really isn't necessary to spell it all out.
And they'll never find us up here in the mountains. Why must you turn yourself in?
Kid, you gotta know when it's time to surrender. Only, do it with flair.
The last words of the screenplay would be, Drew returns to the parlor. He looks at his mother with an expression that somehow conveys amusement, grudging respect, but above all, gratitude.
That's a lot to ask of an actor. I just wish there was something more I could do.
That feather in your hat. May I have that golden feather to take with me?
Of course.
The only words he's able to say are thank you.
At least let me go with you.
Honey, I've already gone. I've flown away on the wings of a giant bird, and no one can touch me.
Fly, my dear child, fly!